What's up everybody and welcome to the channel. Today we're checking out the Toyota Land Cruiser. This one is a 1958 trim level, which is the base model, finished off in Meteor Shower with an MSRP around $59,000. Do you think this is the coolest SUV on the market? Well, it's not the cheapest thing out there. It is ultra capable and it drives really nice with a fancy hybrid system. So this is a pretty cool option if you want something retro but also modern at the same time. Underneath the hood, we can just find that latch right in the center. You will have the manual prop rod, but this is going to feature the iForce Max, which is a 2.4 liter inline 4-cylinder turbocharged hybrid engine. Overall, this makes 326 horsepower with 465 pound-feet of torque, paired to an 8-speed automatic and a full-time 4-wheel drive. With all that, max towing is 6,000 pounds, curb weight's around 5,000 pounds, and then it runs on a 17.9 gallon fuel tank, and you're looking at 22 in the city with 25 out on the highway. For the styling, this one has a really nice set of LED headlights, and you can take a look at just the orange lights too, which look pretty cool. And then you have the old school Toyota name written out in the font. You can see the intercooler back there, nice square openings to allow some airflow. And then the lower grille also has more of these square shaped openings. We do have front parking sensors, LED lights, and then cutouts to allow some airflow through the bumper. Overall, it's a cool look. The base model here is going to have this plastic front end. Of course, the next trim up will have a different design for the headlights, as well as more body color throughout the front. You're going to get some nice sharp lines in this hood to give it a cool squared off boxy appearance, and this dips downwards to actually give you a better view out as a driver. The front fenders have a nice bulge to them as well, and you can see the plastic trim design all throughout it just to protect some of the bodywork. We have a nice set of 17-inch wheels in a gray color, and then more of this plastic trim for the entire lower section. You have some sharp body lines as well. Power folding side mirrors finished in the plastic, gloss black on the door handles, and then a nice design for these squared off windows. Cool looking roof rack up on top as well. And overall side profile, it looks really good. I like how boxy it is, but I also like how there are some curves to it and just a nice modern appearance to the retro style overall. You have one sharp body line throughout the side that will cut upwards, and then a cool design for these taillights with a trim piece connecting them. You have Toyota and Land Cruiser written out, got your iForce Max badge as well, and then an integrated spoiler all back here with the brake light. Trailer hitch is going to be integrated into the center. It is underneath this cover. You have your parking sensors, you have an exhaust sip tucked away. The plugs are right here, and we have a spare tire underneath all of that. So it has a cool look to it, really can't complain. I think it's a pretty sweet looking SUV overall. And then one thing that is really nice for the Land Cruiser, you have the independent opening glass. You can press that button, and lifting that up, you're going to get a pretty good view into the inside, making this very useful. I think SUVs with this glass opening is a really good touch. You also have the button right here. You can press, manually open up the liftgate. Power liftgate will be on the next trim up. And then being the hybrid, you are going to have kind of this bump right here. There's a little bit of storage, but overall you do lose a little bit of space with that. This platform also has the new Toyota 4Runner and Lexus GX, which have 3 rows available in non-hybrids. So you're going to get your grab handles, air vents, plugs, along with armrests and cup holders back here, which this is all the same for the Lexus. However, anything with a hybrid, you are not going to have a 3rd row. So the hybrid 4Runners and the Land Cruiser do not have 3 rows. With that said, the 2nd row folded down and folded up, you can see the differences in cargo space. It is pretty nice and roomy overall. And then taking a look at the interior now, with these seats folded down nice and flat, you can get a pretty good idea of how all the cargo space truly is. And then you have the recline lever and this lever up here actually to where you can configure it. So of course we have straight up seating, we can recline it all the way, but if you kind of let it go in one motion, it will roll forward, giving you nice access into the back. So pretty cool way everything is laid out, pretty easy the way everything operates. And then this one is going to have this cool fabric interior. You do have an armrest in the center along with cup holders. There's all your climate control settings right here. You can see all of those. You have plugs, you have storage as well. The air vents are going to be up on the ceiling. So I guess it is kind of cool to have them for the non-existing 3rd row. Maybe that can actually help blow onto you as well. So pretty cool design. Or if you have pets in the back, they have their own air vents. Now this trim, everything is hard plastics. The next trim up will have soft touch, which I think is a much nicer feeling interior. However, you have your nice cargo space, and there is a lot of space in here overall. At 5'11", I definitely have plenty of legroom and footroom. No complaints there. I have a ton of headroom. There's just a lot of good space overall. And if I recline this all the way, even in the middle seat, this is actually not a bad place to seat at all. So nice and comfortable. This is a really good family SUV. And with a driver's seat at my height, 5'11", no complaints whatsoever. And as we make our way to the driver's seat now, you will have the smart key to where you can just grab the door handle and it will automatically unlock. Door panel's finished off like the rear, just all the hard plastics. You have all of your controls as well. You can independently fold the mirrors, and you're just gonna get manual seating controls. You have a nice look at all the fabric. It does have a pretty cool retro vibe to it. Toyota written out on a black leather wrapped steering wheel. And then hopping inside, foot on the brake, let's fire it up. All your screens will turn on. We have controls on the left side for some volume as well as the screen. Cruise controls located on the right side. And then for this screen, you can see all sorts of different information. You can scroll up and down, see a few things popping up. And then in here, you can see all sorts of different vitals and things you're able to monitor within the Land Cruiser. So nice screen overall with all of your basics. We have the stalk on the right for windshield wipers, turn signals on the left. We have automatic high beams. You can also see the trailer adjustments, one of your air vents, then a nice bezel for the two screens themselves. You have more of just the plastic for the dashboard. This is soft touch up here. However, like I said, the nicer trims, all this is soft touch. We have a navigation system, audio will pop up, you have phone integration, and then vehicle settings. You can configure some of the climate in here. We also have trip information and everything like that. And then for the backup camera, you have a pretty good view overall. In the center, we have your two main air vents along with heated seats and steering wheel. Nice toggles for the dual zone, all these different controls, making it very simple to use. There are drive modes you can go through. We have sport, normal, and eco. Then we have our downhill assist crawl control. Then you have the ECT power. We have extra storage over here with different plugs, nice cup holders, and then these are all your four-wheel drive selections along with your locking differentials. You have pretty good padding right here. Even says Land Cruiser back on the back. And then you have a good amount of space and a nice glove box as well. So overall, it's a pretty nice layout. I think it looks really cool in here. It doesn't photograph well. It looks very plain in videos and on photos, but honestly in it, I do like the layout. It feels like a pretty cool place to be. Huge amount of glass, basic roof, dome lights, and then garage door buttons underneath the mirror. So setting off now in the Toyota Land Cruiser 1958. So this is a pretty nice to drive SUV. Now, even though this is technically their base model, given this is a nearly $60,000 vehicle, you would expect this to drive like a premium vehicle, and it does. I think the Land Cruiser is a very nice to drive vehicle. You know, the bumps are absorbed well with the suspension. You're nice and high up. The seating position is really good. I like the comfort of the seat itself. Armrests are in a pretty good place. They're nice and comfortable, aside from the fact that this is hard plastic. So kind of my one gripe with the 1958 is that everything is hard plastic. You have to go to the normal trim level, which will have all of this being soft touch. Personally, I think that is the sweet spot. For $5 grand more, you just get a much better feeling interior as far as the materials. Aside from that, the ride quality is pretty much the same across the board. You know, it's absorbing bumps well. I love the visibility of these huge windows. It's really easy to see around over your right and left shoulder. Like, you really can't complain. Now, the hybrid integration, I think Toyota did a pretty good job on. It doesn't feel like just a cheap four-cylinder. It actually drives good. It's got good power delivery, and you don't really feel or hear the integration. So between the turbo power and that low-end EV power, you know, it's pretty well done. Slowing down right now, it's in just the EV mode, and then you can slowly just feel the engine kick on when you need some power. Not bad. I wouldn't say it's a fast vehicle. It is a zippy vehicle though. So slow speed around town driving, it'll get up to speed nicely. You got that low end EV power to give you that acceleration in that low speed, which does work pretty well. When you're coasting and things like that, that is when the engine will shut off, save a little bit of gas. I have an average around 18.5 mpg. Like right now the engine is off and we're actually in EV mode, and then the engine kicks back on. So the hybrid integration works really well. I like how it's not just a noisy, annoying four-cylinder. It doesn't sound particularly amazing, however, it doesn't sound like a cheap 4-cylinder either, so that is a good touch. And then as far as some off-road capabilities, we've been off-roading in the Land Cruisers. Check out that video linked down in the description. These are really good. With that power from the engine and the electronics, you're gonna have really good instant torque to where you don't just have to floor it and build pressure in the torque converter to get power. So this is a car you can actually drive very nicely off-road with a lot of control over the acceleration and the wheels. Of course, the 4-wheel drive system is going to work well, the locking differentials. So it's a very capable vehicle. It's easy to place. I like how the hood dips downwards in the center to give you that better view out the front, and you can easily see the far corners of the Land Cruiser. Now, these side mirrors, I will say, are a little tall and skinny. It's not really the best mirror. They look good aesthetically from the outside. However, when you are looking backwards, you know, they leave a little bit to be desired. Visibility through the mirrors isn't exactly the best. But with that said, it is an easy vehicle to drive and really would just be a fantastic daily driver, a really good family SUV too, given it has a useful back seat and cargo area. So this seems like a very well-rounded SUV for the family, and yet you can tow a lot, you can off-road and do plenty, more than most people are ever going to do with any off-roader. So it's really good and capable for all of that. And just the day-to-day, it's nice to be in here, and even for a base model, you still have enough technology and enough features to make it feel pretty premium. I would still go for the next trim up just to get the Softech seating materials. I believe those will have ventilated seats, and then of course you'll just have a nicer feeling interior. Using everything is also really simple, really can't complain, and just seems pretty well rounded. It's not a cheap SUV, but I think you are getting quite a lot for the price you're paying.